Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Sheldon, and this is another episode of Behind the Enthusiast. Today, we are going to be talking about the investment in protective gear. From your helmet down to your boots, there's a lot to choose from. However, recently, I had a really bad accident, and I ended up injuring my wrist really badly. This is just to show you what I've had to wear for more or less 2 weeks now, and hopefully after we discuss some options in this video on how to protect your hands, you guys will avoid the same thing from happening to you. So let's get into it. So first things first, guys, wearing protective gear doesn't guarantee that you won't get injured. However, it can mitigate a lot of damage done to your body. Now, for example, when I first started racing flat track, obviously I just picked the cheapest, most affordable things, and obviously I didn't skip on my helmet. I bought a brand new helmet. However, for gloves, I just bought the cheapest motocross ones that I could find, and they don't really give you a lot of protection. However, after several crashes and close calls with some not so functioning fingers, and of course the looming threat of having your pinky finger bent backwards or something, and considering wearing gloves where your two fingers are actually stuck together, there's a little bit of a strap that's sewn in. So after considering moving up to a different pair of gloves, I decided to switch over to the gloves that I was using while riding on the street, which is these. Now, these are by Thor, and they actually have a really nice leather palm on them. As you can see, this is my right glove, which is the glove that I was wearing when I went down and injured this hand. Thankfully, the leather didn't take any damage at all. So it did its job, it held up. These gloves are absolutely amazing based on what they're supposed to do and what they actually did. So these gloves definitely stand up to the tests of racing, and I would imagine they would do the same thing on the street as well. Now, obviously, motocross gloves, they basically just have the knuckle protection on the back, which is what my other ones had, except they weren't as beefy as these ones, and they definitely didn't have leather palms. Now, thankfully, I was wearing these. However, in order to mitigate any hyperextension of your wrist, you can try something like wristers by EVS, which are these. Now, the main difference is going to be the spine. You guys can see it here. This goes all the way down here and then reaches all the way up into the top of your hand as well. So it goes all the way up into there. Now, this is meant to prevent your hand from going backwards. Obviously, it can still bend forwards, which your hand can actually bend like that. Backwards, your hand really shouldn't be folding down. Now, this, yes. Obviously, you can hyperextend it the opposite way as well. However, this is supposed to mitigate backwards because when you go down, generally when you put your hand down, your hand doesn't fold down like this. Your hand generally goes back. Now, the only downside to these that I've noticed is the palm is very similar to the motocross gloves that I used to wear, which I'm not saying it's a horrible thing, but I guess it would be one of those cons that I would say when you're looking at the pros of the built-in spine. So, pro, you're going to avoid some hyperextension, potentially, wearing these gloves. Now, this is just my opinion, but based on comparison between this material and the other ones here, I would say that this is probably not going to hold up as well once you actually impact the ground. I don't think that surface is going to slide as well as leather. However, that doesn't mean that it isn't going to provide you enough protection for the skin on your hands, which, if you saw my video, even though I was wearing leather gloves, it did feel like my skin had actually been torn off. So that sensation might be the same with these, I don't know. However, this is definitely something that I'm going to consider wearing from now on. Obviously, if I'm at a larger track where I have to wear the leather gloves, my full gauntlet ones, well, I will be wearing those instead. Now, I'm just going to put this on for you guys. I want to show you guys the fitment of it. So, that comes off. I'm actually putting my bad hand in this right now with ease. It's not bugging me right now. So, you guys can see that spine right in there. So when you impact the ground, it's supposed to prevent your hand from going pretty much any further than that. Now, obviously, you want to wrap this around. It's just Velcro, which is not a big deal. Most gloves have a Velcro strap. And to be completely honest, I would prefer a Velcro strap because I find that it is going to hold a lot better than just having one where it's kind of an elastic band at the end and you just kind of slip it over your hand. I find those aren't as nice or secure. So, there you go. The wrister is on. It feels comfortable. It does feel a little bit bulky, not gonna lie. However, I feel like there's enough protection there that it's going to do exactly what it's designed to do. And, well, it's better to have something and not need it than to need something and not have it. That is the motto that you guys should be racing by and living by, I suppose, you could say. And this is going to obviously apply to flat track racing or any type of racing, and kind of applies to riding on the street as well. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to see anybody get injured, but if you do go down, it's really assuring if you guys are wearing the appropriate gear. So, I'll tell you right now, these retail, I believe, for about $140, if I'm not mistaken. And even if I am mistaken, I'm just going to throw some numbers at you guys. Let's say these are $150. Taxes in, out the door. Physiotherapy will potentially cost $100 for your first visit. And then depending on what the physiotherapist charges after that, $50, $75, whatever it is. Let's say it's $50. Let's keep the math simple here. $150 for the gloves. Just one visit is $100 for your physio. Let's say you go twice a week. So the following week you have $50 and $50. That's $200. Already, these gloves, if they actually mitigated most of that damage to your wrist, already paid for themselves. Because now you don't have to go to physio after a crash. So, very simple math, but a very good example of how you are actually going to make a great investment with something like this. Now, obviously, you may end up losing even more money depending on if you have to take time off of work to actually go to your physio appointments, so keep that in mind as well. Well, guys, what did you think? If you liked the video, make sure to smash that like button so I know that it's working. And comments, leave some down below if you guys have had an experience where you are super thankful that you invested in the proper gear to protect yourself before having an accident. Now, if you guys like this type of video, make sure to leave a comment down below and also include what you would like to see next. Obviously, I can go over helmets, I can go over chest protectors, knees, elbows, boots, anything of that nature. Obviously, racing flat track, there are a lot of pieces that actually go together to help keep you safe in case of crashing. Obviously, we don't want to do that, but it does happen from time to time, especially if you're a novice like me, who, well, occasionally I still go down. So, again, leave some suggestions down below if you guys have any experiences with using the wrister gloves. Share those down below as well. I'm kind of curious if anyone has used them before. And as usual, be sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss out on future content on the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one.